Hey YouTube, my Darkness85 here, what's up? Here's a random video from the past. It's about the dominance of TELE-DAD and Lightsworn. So basically, these were my two most favorite decks back a decade ago, like 10 years ago in 2008, like 10, 11 years ago. Because ever since the release of Duelist Genesis, that's when the TELE-DAD idea was born because of the emergency teleport in the Caribons over there and the release of the Synchro Monsters. So basically, before this, there was Dark Arm Dragon Return because we had Disc Commander, Dimension Fusion, and Dark Magician of Chaos at the time. So basically, once those got banned and then Return from the Different Dimension apparently got limited or whatever it was, TELE-DAD began to emerge. And then when Crossroads of Chaos got released and Plague Spreader Zombie and Black Rose and Tempest Magician came around the corner, along with the Doom Kaiser Dragon, Revived King Hades and all that, and the Titanial, we started seeing variations of Dark Arm Dragons and Lightsworns being used in some of those other builds. Like we had Zombie Dark Arm Dragon, Zombie Teleport Synchro, Lightsworn Zombies, Zombie Lightsworn, Plant Lightsworn, stuff like that. It was a lot of decks that combined plants, zombies, the Dark Arm TELE-DAD Fury, and Lightsworn monsters. It was insane. And, like I said, also, I'm not going to have the Glary Beast decks take a backseat in this kind of format, because that also was good back then. But Glary Beast suffered a hit in popularity when Bastari got limited to 1 in one of the ban lists before this one, I think it was. I think it got limited either the one in the spring of 2009 or in the fall of 2009. I'm not entirely sure. But like I said, these two decks were amazing. They dominated regionals and Shonen Jump championships. Like Jerry Wang got first place twice in Shonen Jump Atlanta in 2008. And Dan in Houston with the same build, but different versions of the build, but it was the same idea, basically. And the funny thing is, in the Shonen Jump Charlotte back in 2008, there was only one Lightsworn deck on the top list on TCG Player with all the top deck lists from that Shonen Jump Championship. Everything else was like TELE-DAD, or called Dark Teleport back then. Then it was officially rebranded as TELE-DAD. Before that, they called it Dark Teleport or Dark Synchro or Dark Dad Synchro, stuff like that. And then Lightsworns, like I said, Lightsworns were really dominant. But then in mid-2009, when Teleport got hit to 1, I think it was when Teleport got hit to 1, I believe, in September, of 2009 or in the spring. I'm not entirely sure. But when that happened, the deck started to rapidly decrease in popularity. And then we all remember the infamous March 1st, 2010 ban list. That's when, at that point, it was the end of dominance for this kind of idea. Because in 2010, March 2010, we saw Charge of the Light Brigade, Lumina, Honest. Well, Honest went to 2, but Charge and Lumina, Allure, and Destiny Draw all went to 1. Along with Foolish Burial, Burial from the Different Dimension, Brionac, Necrogardna, Foolish Burial, Burial from the Different Dimension. There was a lot, and Necroface even got limited. A lot of those good cards got hit because of their dominance. Because the reason why is those decks were so nasty and notorious for racking up regional wins, tops, and top in nationals back then. It was crazy. It was just insane. Because that was a really awesome time in Yu-Gi-Oh! That was before we had wind-ups and Inzectors and then the Dragon Rulers. Stuff like that. It was insane. But, those days are long gone now because the link format is just crazy. I might make another video about why the link format is so complicated with the link summoning mechanic. I'll probably make another video about that maybe tomorrow or on Friday. I don't know. But like I said, from 2008 until September or March of 2009, or whatever it was, these two decks were like the biggest hit in Yu-Gi-Oh! Since Dad Return came out, and the GOAT format back in 2004, 2005-ish. Like I said, this format was the best. But back then, I couldn't afford to play with those builds because I didn't have the money to get those cards back then. But you know, that's the reason why I'm starting the Retro Deck series, so I can rebuild some of those builds. I might not be able to build every single one of them because these versions of the cards are really, really hard to find now because those sets are long out of print. And finding them are becoming very, very scarce at times. So, I don't know. I'm going to build a few of them at least, but not all. I'll try the best I can. But like I said, you know, I might build a couple more retro builds in a couple days. I'll make a video of the deck profile of those once I get them completed. So like I said, this format, this is why TELE-DAD and Lightsworn were so dominant, because from September 2008 or October 2008 through March 2010, these two decks dominated regionals, they dominated nationals, they dominated shown jumps. That was the name of like those YCS tournaments we have now today. That was before they rebranded those kind of events with the YCS name. They were called Shown Jump Championship Series back then. So yeah, you know, it was pretty cool. Like I said, it was an awesome time for the format. It really was. So like, yeah, so that's all I gotta say for this video. More videos coming soon. Later, guys.